Superman homepage reviewer Marc Lax continues reviewing episodes from Superman, the animated series, for those nostalgic for the 1990s. Check out his review of the Season 2 episode titled Little Girl Lost Part 2, in which Supergirl goes up against Granny Goodness and the Female Furies. Starting where we left off last episode, the Female Furies were about to attack Supergirl. Mad Harriet, Lashina, and Stompa proceed to attack the Girl of Steel. Supergirl gives as good as she gets, surviving Lashina's lash, Mad Harriet's claws, and Stompa's stomps. Supergirl tells Jimmy to run, which he does, but ends up encountering the two young Intergang members from last episode. Girl Amy stays with Jimmy and the two grab some tech to help fight off the Furies. The fight gets taken outside where Stompa once again stomps, causing the street to cave and sends a ripple through Metropolis. Clark and Lois are at a symposium being given about Fleischer's Comet, which will come within 2.5 million miles of Earth. Just then the ripple caused by Stompa reaches the building housing the symposium, and Clark, using supervision, sees the carnage. Quickly he flies across town to face Granny Goodness and her Furies. Clark is not happy to see Kara in costume fighting the Furies. But before he scolds her, Granny and the gang attack. Superman and Supergirl are buried beneath the rubble. Superman emerges and attempts to fight the Furies, but to no avail. They team up and attack the Man of Steel, knocking him unconscious. With Lashina's mother box, they open a boom tube and take Superman back to Apokolips. While Amy laments to Jimmy that she can't believe she was part of Granny's gang, Supergirl goes through the wreckage and spots a mother box. Snatching up the device, she opens a boom tube and heads for Apokolips. Meanwhile, Granny and her Furies are holding Superman. With his arms and legs tightly secured, Stompa places an electrical collar over his neck as they prepare to take him to the Master Darkseid. Rating 4 out of 5. Part 2 of this story is fun and action-packed. But it's also just one big brawl. I'm not really complaining. I mean, you want a lot of action in these animated stories. It's fun and colorful, and watching Superman fight Darkseid, the Furies, etc., is one of the reasons we watch these shows and read the comics. But sometimes it's too much. This story introduced Supergirl, who really shines in this two-parter, but Part 1 gave us her backstory, introduced the world where she came from, showed how feisty and eager she was and how she can really hold her own. It gave Jimmy a story, introduced Granny Goodness and the Furies, and was even a bit poignant with the story of Argo's destruction and Supergirl learning to adjust to her powers. And then we basically get one big fight scene. Okay, I guess I am complaining. I just wanted a little bit more story and not a big brawl where the new hero as usual has to save Superman. This was still a great episode. I just wish the fights were cut down and we got a bit more characterization. I mean, how many times did we have to watch Stompa stomp? Kara makes it to Apokolips, where she's chased away by warhounds and attacked by parademons. After making quick work of the parademons using super speed to cause a rush of air over a fire pit to burn those demons to a crisp, she tries to catch her breath only to see the Furies dragging Superman by a leash. She follows. Meanwhile, back on Earth, Jimmy and Amy discover what Granny has been up to, creating a giant magnet that may have something to do with Fleischer's Comet. After making Superman kneel before Darkseid, the leader of Apokolips, and Granny explain their nefarious plan. Though Darkseid promised New Genesis not to attack Earth, what could he say if the planet suffered a natural disaster? It seems Granny was stealing tech to build a giant magnet which, when the comet passed by Earth, the magnet would draw the comet towards the planet, destroying Earth. Supergirl finally enters the fray and makes quick work of the Furies. She frees Superman, and before Darkseid can attack them with his Omega beams, Clark grabs Lashina's mother box and they escape. Once on Earth, Clark and Kara find Jimmy and Amy with the magnet. Supergirl without a thought destroys the magnet. Of course Superman's not happy because he wanted to use the magnet to try and deflect the comet. Instead he does it the old-fashioned way. Off in space, Superman tries to slow the comet, which he does, but not before a piece of it breaks off heading to Earth. Supergirl jumps into action, destroying the comet, which sends her crashing to the ground, but Superman catches her in time. Later at the Daily Planet, Jimmy admires his first byline while the male staffers ask him about Supergirl. Just then, Supergirl flies by the Daily Planet, catching everyone's attention while Clark tells Jimmy that his cousin is in town. Entertaining episode that's a bit too action-packed but still good. I was just hoping we'd get a bit more about Kara's background in life, with the Kents adjusting to live on Earth instead of a big spectacle. But if there's one thing these animators did well was spectacle, while the creative team gave the show its heart. still having a grand time rewatching these classics. Check out the Superman, the Animated Series, episode reviews, contents page. Related.